So we are discussing about in operator. That is traversing a list using in operator, and a program is the find the sum of all elements using this 4. Did you complete that program in interpreter? Sanjana?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So after the class, if it is possible, you do it. Okay. Any other? Anyone? Ablash, what is your result? Is it the same?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the
It'll
result?
it'll come as 3, 6, 10.
3, 6. Ah, okay. Then the result it is 10.
10.
Okay. Kevin, your answer, is it 10?
Ma'am, I haven't tried it yet, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So after the class, you just try. Okay, all of you just try this program in the interpreter. Okay. So the next one, it is using range operator. Using range function. What is range function? The time of conditional loop, we are discussing this range function, or in the case of for loop, we are discussing this range function. What is range function? According to range function, 3 values are there: start value, stop value, and step value. Or we can do like this also, that is range of 5. What is range of 5? Sarah, what is range of 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, it is starting from 0. Okay, and this 5 is excluded. So the result it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, range of 5 means that is starting from 0. So the last value is 5. 5 it is excluded. So the values are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it clear, Sarah? Okay, so range of 5 means we are giving only stop value. So starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is the stop value. Stop value is excluded. So we are the last value of our range, it is 4. Okay. Here, list 1 is equal to A, B, C, D, E. So the content of list 1, it is A, B, C, D. Content of list 1, it is A, B, C, D, E. Then N is equal to LEN of list 1. What is LEN? LEN is a built-in function to count the number of elements present in that list. Here the meaning is LEN of list 1 means this function will automatically count how many elements are present in this list 1. Okay. So LEN is a function used to calculate the length of a list. Length means total number of elements present in that list. Okay, so list 1, the contents are A, B, C, D, E. Here total number of elements means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements are there. Okay, so this LEN is a built-in function that will count the total number of elements present in this list 1. List 1 means A, B, C, D, E. So from that list, this function will count how many elements are there. Here 5 elements are there. So here the result it is 5. That 5 is assigned to N. Is it clear? This LEN function. len is a built-in function that will count the number of elements present in this list 1. List 1 means A, B, C, D, E. Here 5 elements are there. So the result of this len of list 1, it is 5. That 5 is assigned to n. Is it clear, Amal? Amal? Here, what is the length, Amal? Amal? Rahul, what is the length?
And 3.
Yes, it is 3 because len of list 1. Here list 1 include only 3 elements. So the result of len it is 3. That 3 is assigned to n. So the result of n also it is 3. Okay. Then after that for I in range n. Here,
Ma'am?
yes.
Ma'am, can you repeat this again, ma'am? I had lost
Okay.
connection.
Okay. So here len is a built-in function. It is used to find the number of elements present in this list. Okay, so here len of list 1 means this function will count how many elements are here in list 1. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements are there. So the result of this len function, it is 5. That 5 is assigned to n. Okay. One more example here, list 1 is equal to 3 values, 11, 12, 13. So here again, I am using this len function. Len of list 1 means here the number of elements in list 1, it is 3. So that 3 is assigned to list 1. Okay. So the value of n, it is 3. Okay. Then, is it clear, Kevin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the next statement it is for I in range n. Here the value of n it is 5. Range of 5, what is the value, Sanjana? Range of 5, which are the values for range of 5?
0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Correct. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the values for range 5. Range 5, 5 is the stop value. So we are starting from 0, 5 values. We are not including this 5. So the last value is 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are the values of this range n. Then after that, we are assigning the first value, that is 0, to I. First time iteration, first time when this for loop is executed, then the value of I, it is 0. Here the first value is 0. So that first value is assigned to I. After that, it will execute this print statement. Here it is list 1 of I. What is I? I, it is 0. So list 1 of 0 means, what is list 1 of 0? It is A. Here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So list 1 of 0 means it is A. So A is printed. After that, how is the control flow? After executing this print statement, it will go to this for loop. Then here, I is assigned with next value, that is 1. 1 is assigned to I. So here, next time, I value is 1. So after assigning 1 to I, it will print list of I. Here, now the value of I, it is 1. So list of 1, what is list of 1? It is B. So B is printed. After that, how is the control flow? It will again execute this for loop till the value become 4. Okay, so third time I value it is 2. So I, it is 2. Print list of 2. What is list of 2? It is C. So C is printed. After that again, third value 3. 3 is assigned to I. So list 1 of 3. List 1 of 3 means D is printed. Then last value 4 is assigned to I. List 1 of I, that is list 1 of 4, that is E is printed. So we can travel through each and every element of this list using this for loop and range function. Using the for loop, we can travel through the list. Two methods are there. First one, we can use in operator with some value. Here, this is the first one, in list 1. Here in second case, we are using a range function. Okay, this is range function. So using this range function, we can execute, we can travel through this list. Is it clear? How is the working, the control flow of this for loop is clear? Anyone need more explanation? Anyone?
Can you repeat?
Okay. Here, this is the list. Here, 5 elements are there. A, B, C, D are the 5 elements. All of you switch on the video, children. So here, 5 elements are there. First, you want to find out the length of the list. Length means total number of elements present in that list. That means here, len of list 1 means this function will count how many elements are present here. Here 5 elements are there. So this function will return a result 5. And this 5 is assigned to n. So after executing this statement, the value of n, it is 5. Is it okay? Okay. Then next it is for loop. Here range of n means the value of n, it is 5. So range of 5. What is range of 5? It is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the values of range of 5. A set of values are there. Okay. So here, range of 5 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 values. Then for I in range of 5 means the execution of this for loop is first the value of I is 0. So first I value, it is 0. So after assigning 0 to I, it will execute this print statement. So value of I, it is 0. Then it will execute print list 1 of I. What is the value of I? I, it is 0. That means list 1 of 0. What is list 1 of 0? List 1, this is list 1. List 1 of 0 means A. Okay. List 1 of I value it is 0. So list 1 of I means list 1 of 0. List 1 of 0 means A. So it will print A. Okay. After that, the control moves back to the for loop and next value, that is 1, is assigned to I. So next time the value of I, it is 1. Okay. Then it will execute the same print statement because same print statement, but here list 1 of I means here I value is 1. So list 1 of 1, what is list 1 of 1? It is B. Then After that, I value, it is 2. 2 is assigned to I. So after that, print list 1 of I means list 1 of 2. What is list 1 of 2? List 1 of 2 means C. Here it is C. Then what about the next value? I value, it is 3. So 3 is assigned to I. Then print list 1 of I. Here the I value it is 3. So print list of 3 means it is D. Okay. Then last value of I, it is 4. 4 is assigned to I. Print list 1 of 4 means it will print E. It's not in this order. It is display like this. D, E. Oh, not this one, just like this one. A, B, C, D. Okay. Is it clear, Sarah?
Yes, ma'am.
Anish, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any doubt, children? According to for loop or LEN function, any doubt is there? Anyone? No. Okay, so you can move to the one program is there. You just write this program and do it as homework. Okay, write a program to count the number of characters in a string and display the characters one by one. This is the program. Instead of this ABCD, you want to give another set of characters. Okay. The same program, replace it with another set of character and do it in the interpreter.
Ma'am, what was your question?
Write a program. This one is the question. Write a program to count the number of characters in a string and display the characters one by one. Completed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Write the next heading. It is aliasing, that is duplicating or alternate name. So if you want to give one alternative name to a list, we already discussed this one with another example, that is here. An example is the where is that? This one is the, this is the duplicating or aliasing or alternate name. Okay, here we are giving one alternate name or duplicate name for list 1, that is list 7. Okay, so we already discussed that term. Once again, I will explain. Here, subject is a list with some subject value, Hindi, English, IP, and CS. Then here temp equal to subject means we are giving one alternate name temp for list subject. Okay. So if you want to give one alternate name or duplicate name for already declared list, give a statement like this. First, you want to give the new name, which is equal to existing name, old name. So here TMP is the new name, subject is the old name. Subject is, this is the subject. So we are giving a new name or alternate name for this temp. Just like our pet name. Official name is the, for you, official name is the, pet name is also there, just like that. Okay. So for this string, we are using two name. The first name it is subject and second name it is temp. So for this Hindi, English, IP and CS, first I will give one name that is subject and second I am giving another name, it is temp. So we are using these two names for the same list. Okay, for that purpose we are using this statement. Temp equal to subject. So subject is the first list name. So for duplicating or aliasing, first you want to write the new name. So it is temp. Temp is equal to subject. Temp is the new list name. Subject is the existing list name. So temp equal to subject means we are giving one duplicate name for that subject. So for this list, two names are there, subject and temp. So if I print subject, the result is Hindi, English, IP, CS. If I am printing print temp, the result is same, Hindi, English, IP and CS. Write the output here. Print subject means we are just giving a duplicate name for this subject. For that I am using this statement temp is equal to subject. Okay, so print subject means we are giving a print subject means it will display the same content, that is Hindi, English, IP, CS. Print temp is also same, that is Hindi, English, IP, CS. Okay. Abhilash,
Yes, ma'am.
is it clear?
I can explain one more time.
Okay, here subject is the existing list name. Just like our official name and pet name, here I am giving a pet name temp for this subject. For that, the statement is temp equal to subject. Just give a new name here. After that assignment operator, then subject. I want to give another name, that is ABC for this subject. How we will write the statement? ABC is equal to subject. Here, what is the meaning? I'm giving a new name or alternate name ABC for this subject. Okay. So if I want to give one alternate name for already existing list, first give the new name, that is alternate name. If it is subject 1, sub 1 is the new name, right? Sub 1, which is equal to existing name. This is the existing name. So subject is the existing name. After executing this statement, one more name is there for subject, it is sub 1. Okay, so sub 1 and subject is same. The content is same, but two names are there. So if we print subject, the content is this one. If we print sub 1, content is same. Is it clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Okay.
ma'am, so we can change the name for temp. We don't have to keep temp there, right?
Now we can change, instead of temp, you can give any name. So then you can give that name here. Okay. Here we can give, instead of this temp, you can give any name. It is depending upon you. You can give any name here. Okay. Then If you want to print the content, write the same name here also. Then only we can get the output. Okay. The next one, it is comparison of list. Write the heading, comparison of list. Relational operators are used to compare two different lists. Relational operators are used to compare two different lists. Comparing sequences should be of same type and their elements should also be of similar type. Just write the definition. Alan Thomas is present.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Monday you prepare for your seminar. Okay. Okay, Alan. Alan.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you know the topic?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Write the topic. It is different if statements. Different if statements. Different if statements. Alan Joshi,
Yes, ma'am.
your seminar is on Monday. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Then Abhiram is not there. Abhijit is not there. Anjana,
Ma'am,
did you get the topic, Anjana?
yes, ma'am, last time I prepared.
Okay. Which topic?
Mm,
Any idea? Or I will give a new topic based on this looping and conditional.
Ma'am, I've already prepared that.
Okay,
Ma'am.
okay, okay. No problem. Then on Monday. Okay.
Okay.
So Alan Thomas, Alan Joshi, and Anjana. Okay, prepare for the seminar on Monday. 2 or 3 minutes for interactive section. Okay. Okay, children. That is, ask some questions about your topic to your friends. Okay. Then one more thing, it is based on our previous chapter. A test paper based on the conditional and selection constructs. It is on Saturday. Is it okay? Saturday. Based on conditional, that is if, for, and while. Is it okay, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So prepare well for the test paper. Okay. This Saturday. That is, I think it is 25th.
Ma'am, can you repeat the topic?
That is the previous chapter. The chapter number. Chapter it is, 1 second. Chapter 4, conditional and looping constructs. The entire chapter. Conditional and looping constructs. Okay. Conditional and looping constructs is the chapter. Date it is Saturday. Okay. Seminar is on Monday. Test paper is on Saturday. Okay. So relational operators are used to compare two different lists. That is relational operators. Which are the relational operators? Amal, which are the relational operators, Amal? Amal? Okay, Irene, which are the relational operators used in Python? Irene? Tushar,
Yes, ma'am.
which are the relational operators used in Python?
Plus, minus, division, multiplication, flow
Is it
division.
relational operator?
is equal to
Then what is arithmetic operator, Tushar?
Wait a second, ma'am.
Hmm.
Ma'am, I don't know.
Okay. Rahul?
Unary operator and binary operator.
Unary and binary are the two divisions of operators. Under that binary operator, so many operators are there. That is arithmetic operator, relational operator, logical operator, shorthand operator, just like that. Among that, what is relational operator? Kevin?
ma'am.
What is relational operator? Give some
Ma'am,
examples.
relational operators are used to compare two different lists.
Give some example. Give some examples for relational operator.
Ma'am, greater than and
Yes, correct, Kevin. It is less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, not equal to. Okay. These are some basic topics based on that Python basics, Python fundamentals. Okay. So here it is relational operators. Relational operators are less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, not equal to, which are used for comparing two values. Here we are using relational operators for comparing two different lists. Okay. Comparing sequences should be of same type and their elements should also be of similar type. That is, if I'm using L1 is equal to 1, 2, 3 and L2 is equal to A, B, C, then L1 less than L2. It is not possible. That is, here I am using integer data type. Here I am using string data type. So the meaning of this statement it is comparing sequences should be of same type. That is, I want to compare list. If I'm using two value, the two values must be in list form. And the elements is also in same data type. We can't compare one list and one tuple. Okay, that is the first one. Comparing sequences should be of same type. Sequences means in the sequences we can use tuple, dictionary, list. So comparison is only based on same sequence. That is, if I'm using list, we can compare list only. We can't compare a list with tuple or a list with dictionary or a list with or a tuple with dictionary, just like that. If we are using a relational operator, we can use same type of sequence. That is, we can compare two lists, we can compare two tuple, we can compare two dictionary or two string, just like that. Okay. Then the second point, their elements, that is contents with same data type. If I am using integer value in L1, here also you want to use integer value. That is 11, 12, 13, 14 or same. There is no need of using same value, but integer values are used here. Is it clear this point? Comparing sequences should be of same type, means we can compare only with two lists, two tuples, or two dictionary. We can't compare one list and one tuple, or one list and one dictionary, or one tuple and one dictionary. It is not possible. If you are using relational operator with sequences, we can compare only same type sequences. And the elements within that list is also of same type. That means in L1, we are using integer data type. Then L2 also we want to use integer data type. If within L1, I'm using string data type, L2 also I want to use string data type. Okay, that is the meaning of this statement. Is it clear, Rahul?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here, write the first one. L1 comma L2 is equal to 1, 2, 3 comma 1, 2, 3. And L3 is equal to, write this one only, okay. L3 is equal to 1 comma 2, 3. That is that 2, 3 within another list. That is nested list we are using here. Here it is nested list. Then after that, I'm checking L1 is equal to L2. Here, what is the meaning of this first statement? L1 comma L2 is equal to first one, second one. What is L1 comma L2? Here the meaning it is L1 is, this is L1. This is L2. Okay. L1 comma L2 is equal to two lists. First list is this one, second list is this one. That means the name of first list it is L1, name of second list it is L2. Then one more list is there, L3 with nested list. That is 1 comma 2 comma 3. Here I am comparing L1 and L2. L1 equal to L2. L1 is 1, 2, 3. L2 also 1, 2, 3. So both two lists are equal. So the result it is true. Then what about this L1 equal to L3? L1 it is 1. Second, the first value it is okay. L1 1. Here also L1 1. What about the second value? Second value here it is 2, but here it is 2, 3. Okay. The case of L1, the first value it is 1. Here also first value it is 1. It is okay. But about the second value, here the second value it is 2, but here the second value it is another list, that is 2 comma 3. Two values are there. So these two, L1 is not equal to L3. So the result it is false. Is it clear? Here this relational operator equal to is used for checking if both if two strings lists are equal or not. Here L1 equal to L2. Here L1 1, 2, 3. L2 is also 1, 2, 3. So both these lists are equal. So the result is true. But in the case of next statement, that is L1 equal to L3. Here L1 is 1, 2, 3. The first value of L3 and L1 is okay, 1 and 1. But the second value, L1 second value is 2. Here the second value is a nested list. That is 2, 3. Two values are there. So it is not equal. So the result is false. Okay. Can you just write this one? What is this? What is this? Anyone? when we are writing a statement along with this three indentation or this three symbol, what is the meaning?
It won't be interpreted.
What, Abhilash?
It won't be interpreted by the Python interpreter. It'll be
Then-
ignored.
Then
It's used as a note.
this is interactive mode. When we are typing a statement in interactive mode, it will display like this. Okay. That is in ideally shell. If you are writing a statement in interactive mode, the starting is like this. Okay. So here the statement is 1289 less than 91. Here, the checking is based on the elements. The first element it is 1. Here the element it is 9. So 1 less than 9, it is true. So it will display true as result. Okay. Here also, the first one it is equal, so we can't say anything based on this first two value. Here also it is true, it is same. But the third value is 8 and 9. So it will compare 8 less than 9. 8 less than 9 is a true statement. So the result it is true. If it is true, then it will never check this one, 9 and 1. Once again, I will explain. The first value of this list, it is 1. Here the first value it is 9. So it will check 1 less than 9. Here it is true. Okay. If it is true, it will stop the checking there and it will return a result true. Okay. Then the second case, here the first value it is 1. Here first value is 1. It is same. We can't identify which one is greater because the two values are same. So we will move to next value. Next value is 2. Rahul, listen here. Okay. 2 and 2. Here also the two values are same. All the videos are off. What happened? So 2 and 2. So here also the values are same. So we can't identify which one is greater. So we move to the next value. Here 8 and 9. 8 less than 9. It is true. So it will print true. Here what is the result? Okay, we'll continue in the next class. Okay.